Pedro Silveira from Federal Institute of Espírito Santo, Brazil, and I'll present the paper entitled A Framework for Design Applications to Support Knowledge Construction on Learning Ecosystems. For our agenda, for this presentation, I will bring an introduction, a theoretical background, the related works, the methodology that we use it for the framework development, the framework itself and how we validate it, and the final considerations. So we'll leave in a moment with some authors called digital culture, which is conducive to making our interactions more flexible. And in the digital culture, a lot of data is generated, which can later be used to improve our process. And this can be a benefit for our learning process. So in this context, we believe that learning ecosystems are the perfect basis for using smart computational agents like smart learning environments as personal and collective learning assistants. But we have some challenge as support the interaction of learners, support teachers in the mediation actions, help humans to avoid unnecessary tasks, understand where we need to focus on each ecosystems in which we are present, gather and record productions knowledge in these contexts, and facilitation information retrieval. And to face that challenge, we propose a conceptual structure, a framework that inspires and supports the modeling of intelligence educational systems that literature calls smart learning environments, and make learning ecosystems smarter. For the theoretical background of the paper, we bring the concepts of smart learning environments, learning ecosystems, and educational location-based services, because they propose the framework that is a whole set of technologies to contemplate this kind of functionality. Here we have some related works that we found on our investigation. So we found 4 with mainly considered 3 aspects: frameworks, SLAs or smart learning environments, and learning ecosystems. Afterwards, we try to compare the works through 5 questions to which our work answer yes for everyone. Those questions are related to formal education, personalized education, if there is a formalization of the proposal, like a framework, and if it considers location-based aspects. As we can see, the others works, the related works, can answer yes, no, or partially for these questions. To design the conceptual model of the framework, of course, we used Jabarin's proposal, which is based on 80 steps, ranging from the survey of the framework components until the rethinking. In the reference, now we have the entire reference of this methodology that we follow. Here we have the conceptual framework itself, the conceptual model. As we can see, the framework has 4 layers. In the drawing, I think is a little, is small, but I will try to explain. The first level, the first layer, contains the productions and the personal information where the SLA will look for, and not necessarily available in a single physical location, but this data can be spread in differential locations. The second layer, which actually contains the smart elements that the designed SLA must contain. is the most important layer of the framework. In this layer, we can find the location-based libraries, which can make the design of the SLA even more personalized and context-sensitive. The third one is the infrastructure layer that offers the necessary technology that the SLA needs to run, and also contains the artifacts that also can generate data to improve recommendations, or even or to turning better the information visualization process. And finally, we have the application and presentation layers that make the productions generated by the SLA available to the users. And these productions can be recommendation systems or for visualization systems like dashboards, production of dashboards and reports, etc. Here we are now talking about the steps of validation of the framework. In the first validation step, we model some SLAs that notably behave like SLAs. And for these, we instantiate the Mendeley and the ResearchGate as SLAs. In the second step, we model another SLA with the framework and implement this SLA. The name of the tool produced is Ubiquito-Lied. Its main functionality is to generate recommendations to support learning, including aspects based on the individual's location. For example, recommending videos or papers about registered learning interests, and considering also the location of the individual. In here, we have the results of this second step of validation. We applied the tool, Lied Ubiquo, in a course to high school and university students at 2 different times, and evaluated in 2 ways, with an internal mechanism for evaluate the recommendations. The users set a note for the recommendation from 1 until 5, and we evaluate through a questionnaire applied after the completion of the course, applied to the participants. And the results showed that more than 70% of the participants agree that Ubiquito-Lied is what we designed it to be, an individual and collective learning assistant. The SLA helped make the participants' learning process easier. We can affirm this by the answers that we had, that there is a need for implementations in the two interface. Some problems that we have to fix for another version. And finally, the results showed us the framework produces tools that can be used in another scenarios and throughout life, not just at the school. And with conclusions, we can conclude that the framework fulfills its purpose of providing elements to design SLAs that actually behave like SLAs, and they personalize the recommendations generated by the Ubiquito-Lied, by the SLA that we modeling with the framework, improve, in fact, the students' interactions and support the learning, acting as a learning assistant. And as feature work, we intend to create an interactive environment based on the framework to facilitate the implementation of SLAs. Now we have a conceptual framework, and in the future we think about turn this conceptual framework in a technological framework. Here we have the reference that we use to prepare this presentation, and thank you very much for the possibility to present our paper.
As you know, there have been a lot of framework in the past that try to describe intelligent system, let's say. So, which is the lesson that we should learn from your framework with respect to the past?
So we are trying in our framework to contemplate structures like educational data mining and location-based applications and intelligent functionalities that could help the students to gathering their learning. And I think our mainly contribution is to help people in learning ecosystems. Our framework is a very, I don't know the word in English, but is specific for applications in learning ecosystems. And I think our work, our contribution is in this way.